I'd like to switch over to Blake Prewitt. He's the superintendent of Lakeview Schools, and he's going to give you kind of a real-life example of how he's used this tool to save money.
Thank you. And Doug's given me 2 minutes, so I'll try and be brief. So thank you for this opportunity. I just want to kind of give you a real-life story. As all of you are elected members, school boards are elected members. And when they have to make difficult decisions, no one agrees with them. If you have to close schools, if you have to outsource, if you have to reduce teachers, those are not easy decisions. And school boards, as well as legislators, need to have hard data and facts. 5 years ago, around 5 years ago, I started in Ferndale Schools as superintendent. I've since moved to Lakeview and Battle Creek. When I entered Ferndale, we had almost a 1% fund equity. I had to meet with MDE and Treasury about what happened if we went into deficit. Teachers had a 7% pay reduction. Of course, they were extremely happy about that, which greatly affects the classroom. And we had a newer school board. So where do you find where to cut? $40 million budget, where do you find that information? Well, within 3 years, with the help of Eidex, we went to a 15% fund equity. We had closed 3 buildings, sold them for residential development, combined our elementary schools to save money, outsourced custodial maintenance, combined that with Clawson Schools, combined food service with Hazel Park, and outsourced our IT to Oakland Schools. That's how we got to the 15%. So what did Eidex show us? This is information the board didn't have before. We were the lowest spending on classroom instruction out of any school district that was similar to us and in the county. So you can see those different peer groups, we were low, and it was obvious. So the board knew they needed to cut other areas besides the classroom. We are the highest spending in custodial maintenance. You can see that huge difference. When we outsourced in 2016, it fell drastically. So how do you outsource and put 25 of your employees that are local citizens that vote out of the union, having board meetings of 100 parents and people outside with signs saying union busters? You have to have the data to show your community. All right, I need to get quicker. So also showing that we were overstaffed within some of our classroom buildings. So how do we look at doing that? So basically, if as a superintendent, I'm going to work on my school board to make intelligent decisions, I need something to show me. I have no way to show what other districts. Doug is board president of Northview Schools. They're very similar to Lakeview. So I can go into Eidex and see what's Northview doing because my 3rd grade reading is down, which it is, and his is up. So what are they doing? I call his superintendent. I look at where they're spending money. I'm spending too much money in certain areas, and Northview spending it in other areas, and I need to do. I have to have those conversations with my board. I'm sorry that we have to cut this program you like, but to increase 3rd grade reading and reading intervention, this is what we have to do. Here's school districts that do it, and here's where the boards are spending money. So that's where it's been very helpful, and it's helped put money back in the classroom. There's no way I would have been able to make those changes in Ferndale and the changes I'm making now in Lakeview without Eidex. So thank you very much.
All right.
Questions?
Thank you, gentlemen. Under time, and we've got a question from Rep. Kennedy.
Thank you so much. I'm familiar with Eidex. We used it in my former district quite a bit. I was able to use it even at the building level to compare similar demographics, and as you were saying with the achievement gap kind of information, it was very, very helpful. Can you explain maybe in a little bit more detail of exactly when an administrator is going to Eidex, how easy it is to manipulate it? Can you
Sure.
kind of give that little picture of really how much time it saves and why that works? And also my question is, does Eidex do appropriation committee work to lean us up a little bit?
Well, I can give a quick story. 7:30 a.m. this morning, I met with my middle school principal, who's been on the job for 3 weeks. Within 10 minutes, we had all our NWA MAP scores and M-STEP scores by teacher, by achievement, and by growth. And she could see right away who was a rock star and who was struggling, and which grades. So from there, she could make decisions on staffing and who needed support. We had one teacher that was knocking out of the water every year. And so immediately, how do we get with her and what is she doing that the other 7th grade teacher is not doing and emulate that? That was within 15, 20 minutes, which in the past would have taken me days to go through scores and put it in spreadsheets.
I think the key is ease of use. We have a model in our company. You got to be able to find your data in about 3 clicks or less. If you can't find it that quick, administrators and principals and people that work in school, they're too busy. They're just jammed busy. They got to be able to find it. So it's got to be very intuitive on how to use a tool like this, and that's been our emphasis the whole time.